No, so
Let's see. So this migration attribute, right? So that is getting persisted, okay, through the service DTO, which is defined. If I go back all the way, so service DTO is defined here, right, under the service order.
Okay.
So there is no gate service actually to retrieve that attribute. Like
Okay.
yesterday, we looked at the gate call by the trail ID or gate call by the service ID. Let me go back here. So I was under the order detail. This is the Swagger page. This is production, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I tried all these methods actually, and none of them has returned the attribute.
Okay. So this get method, right? We should make changes in order detail only. That's what I thought of telling.
Order detail, this one only, right?
Yeah.
It's a service.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this only we'll get the detail based on the service ID.
Okay.
Okay. So, can I share my screen?
Yeah. One more question I need to ask, just for my own understanding, based on what I found. Okay. So now we want to leverage that service, the customer migration attribute coming from the service extension table in activation domain, right? So what I found is, and I was a bit surprised, and maybe this is my first time to really look at the code, how it is put together. So in activation common also, there is a service DTO defined, right? And if I look at that class, which has a get set methods, it has very minimal attributes, they don't even match with what is there in the service order domain itself, with that service DTO. So, so one question was, why are we repeating these classes in each domain as it's needed, and then they don't match, right? And then other thing, maybe this is maybe just a mechanism, right? Let me go back here. So I think this is probably the way of getting the objects, right? I think we're calling the REST URL, right, internally, right, to get the object, right? So I think I'm okay with that. It's just that I was a bit surprised that we're replicating our code in multiple domains, right, related to the database object.
So that's why we are using SDK actually. So we should not replicate the code in multiple areas. That's why we started using SDK. So that you can.
Which I'm not aware of that actually, how that works. So I'll hand over the control to you. If we can just give us a little walkthrough on that, so that Shirshak, while he's making the changes, I want to ensure that it's not like a guesswork, right?
Okay, got
we
it.
want to be a bit more confident in our approach while making the changes.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you can take over the control, Arvind.
Okay.
Let me, in fact, record it as well.
Yeah.
This meeting is being recorded.
Yeah, let me 1 second.
There is a field at the end actually, the customer migration.
Okay. So this thing, this is not correct.
Yeah, I think I had tried that gate call yesterday.
Okay. So yeah, just if you clone this order detail API,
Let, okay.
so in this, right, we have to, so we have every,
Yeah,
in
this
this we
one
have
has all the getter and setters.
yeah, he has to add that customer migration object also here.
Okay.
Wherever there is a service bureau, there he should, okay, that is one thing. And then service method, I don't think there.
Can you search that migration keyword? I believe I think it's already there. The mapper is also
No,
there.
I don't think it is there here, Anand. If it was there, we should have already got that in the response.
Oh, this is a different class file. Maybe this is not a like the DAO object.
So, yeah, so if you want to get that response, right, by giving service ID, we have to make changes in this API. Like in order detail. Oh,
Okay.
hello.
Okay. Got it.
Just give me a minute. I'm going to take a screenshot so that I have this
Okay. In
path
this
also.
model, in the service DAO, you have to add that customer migration.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, service in the model, service definition, model, in the service DTO as well.
Let me also take this path.
The service DTO as well. Okay, got it.
In this also, we have to add this customer migration. Service on the DTO, I don't think. Main and service DTO, and the next one is resource mapper details, service details. Service.
So this one has the methods, the get methods or get calls.
Yeah, yeah. So, and here the last one in the service DAO mapper also.
Let me.
So here it's auto generated using my batteries, right? So we can add manually too, right? It's okay.
Yeah, we can add manually, so that's why
Okay,
we
got it.
can add here same with customer migration. So if you don't add here, right, it will have cause issues. So
Okay,
you have
got
to
it.
add in service DAO mapper and the model class and the DTO class.
Okay.
That should be enough.
Got it, got it,
Okay.
So in the service DAO model and the DTO class.
got it. That's it, right?
So 3 places, right? Overall.
Yeah,
Only
service
3 places.
DTO, DAO, and mapper.
Okay.
But in the mapper, I think so we have to write everywhere actually. So here in the service DAO mapper, first you need to add that attribute here,
Okay.
and also criteria condition. So here after GSM tag you have to put customer migration. Wherever you see all that service DAO list, you have to add that column customer migration.
Okay, got it.
We can search for that GSM tag and
Yeah,
replicate the.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wherever you see that, you have first here, if you see here, and also comma, and also you have to write in this also,
Okay.
worker, or just, whatever the key attribute, you can see service ID attribute, you can do the change.
Okay.
And here also, mainly in this mapper, you have to put everywhere, wherever all those are there, you have to put that.
Okay, okay.
So, okay, that should be it actually.
Okay, Arvind.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can go with the Jugaad, right? The Indian Jugaad.
Yeah.
Search
Search
for
and
one
go.
of the existing
Yeah.
attributes and then
Okay.
Yeah,
replicate it.
I can show you. Actually, I might have done already for one attribute.
Because that will ensure that we are hitting all the right notes, right?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
So you can see one of the attribute one.
So this is the only service, though, right?
Yeah, this is the only service. Or there is one more service also.
And adding this new attribute, hopefully it will not impact the
Rest of the microservices, yeah.
other places that are calling that service, right? I mean,
No, nothing will happen. Just we have to make sure that we are putting that in every place.
okay. I was just wondering whether whoever is consuming that service, right, will they have any impact?
No, nothing.
Okay.
If using that attribute only, it will have an impact. Because nobody is using
Someone has
that attribute.
kind of typecasted that entire object, right? Or if they have hard coded it. So,
Okay. So there is one more API also in the order search. So here,
so you recommend we look into that one too, right? The order search one.
yeah, Yeah, order search also. I'm not sure whether, because activation doesn't use this order search, only they use order detail only.
Yeah.
So that's
In case if someone else is using, they at least they will know that it's a migration order.
yeah.
I think Porch probably they use that. If I'm
Yeah, Porch uses order search.
yeah.
That's inquiry, hazard, location type.
Also, these are the changes, right? That we can look into. Similar kind of change.
Yeah, order location type. See, like this only, like I wrote, this is for another table actually. Service contact map. Contact in the contact detail. So I did. You see, everywhere there is a like. So this is another example for this table. But for service EXT, you can follow this. In the model,
Let me capture this. What was the change that you have searched? Location
I
type,
can
right?
give it. Yeah, location type.
Okay.
You can see it in model. Or else if somebody made the exact kind of change in service EXT.
We'll search, the attribute right within that service, and then see what exactly has been done for that one attribute.
Yeah, that is for different table. That's why.
So this order search is also getting the data from the service extension, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you search it, yeah, here also it's not. Okay. Yeah, for this only 3 changes only.
Okay.
In the model class, this one in the model service DAO.java, and
If you don't mind, can you give me the path so that because this class names are also kind of repeated in many places. I don't want to hit on the wrong one. Yeah, I happened to look at the code after almost 2 years of thinking Nautilus or Shivshak.
Yes. Appreciate it, Anand.
Shivshak is forcing me to look into the code.
But like I mean, yeah.
so there are two.
Yeah,
one will be DETO and one will be DAO.
Yeah.
Another is master.
There is no package definition.
Yeah, this is master class. You have to go to service, SRC name.
Resources, okay. Okay.
Only these two. Yeah.
So this is good. Can you give us, I think, that SDK thing, right? How do we ensure that we don't repeat the DAO classes, the getters and setters in activation domain? Someone has already done that though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I think for this API they are calling SDK or REST template. I'm not sure. Like in activation, they call.
So we saw they are doing some auto wiring to that service order, and then inside the code they are calling the REST endpoint to get the response, and then response is copied over to the local DAO object.
Okay. Yeah, if they are doing REST, they don't need to call SDKs actually.
But when they're copying that response right into the local DAO object, that is where the repetition is, right? Because they are redefining the almost similar object, which is not exactly in sync with the original object, right? I think they are just extracting what they need and then they're using it.
Yeah, so they have to, in that case itself, they have to call SDK, but that SDK should have both the same, like in whatever is there in original, whatever is there in SDK, they have to accept that SDK format. So then only they can call the SDK. But if they are
do you have any example where you are calling, you are using the SDK to call something outside of the domain?
Yeah.
Application service.
Oh no, checking. So like this, they will call directly. You don't need to hardcore anything like REST template. Directly you can. This is trail channel friend and it has.
This is using the auto wiring, right? I think.
Yeah.
That infrastructure or something.
Yeah, infrastructure.
You were showing me that, right?
Yeah.
They have that big YML file there.
Yes, infrastructure config store. Yeah, they have all the values which has to be auto-wired.
So no, all that infrastructure API is different. That is only having so.
Oh, this topology is TK. Okay.
So when they call, so if there is a client call, so they are auto-wiring this trail channel client with.
Yeah.
In this, Yeah. So if you go to the trail channel client, so in this SDK, it will have all the API objects, basically.
Okay. So every domain has probably the SDK defined as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For service order, there is a service order SDK. So in the client V2, if you go to client V2, for every endpoint, like in topology, we have auto design, diversity API. So all those APIs will have this. So directly you can call. So you can call that API method directly from here. So when you're calling from here,
This is defined in the service order domain, right?
yeah,
And it is available for other domains to call using the
yeah. So
ITO1.
yeah, I'm in service order only. So in service order, we are calling topology method.
Okay, which is in the topology domain.
Yeah. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, you are in the topology SDK. Okay.
Yeah. So this method I'm using here in service order.
So, so let me take a look at here. Can you just scroll down a little bit? So the trail channels, is that the object? The trail channels?
Yeah, trail channels is an object.
Where is that defined? So there must be some getter setters in that object, right?
Yeah. So that is also in SDK. That is what I'm telling.
Okay.
So this trail.
So you don't have to define the getter setters for that object within your service order domain.
Yeah, that's what. So that is the use of SDK. We don't need to write the code in multiple areas again and again.
Okay.
So here itself you have that list of trail channel DTO you are returning.
Okay.
So that channel DTO will be here.
And it is always taken as a list, right? Although it might just return just one object.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever you want to change something
Do you
in the object,
can you go to the service order SDK? Is that is there a method to get that same object? The service DAO.
so you can get it actually.
So using this method, we don't even have to call the REST endpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't need to call the restaurant on that.
Okay.
But I don't know why they are still using REST templates.
In some places, looks like
Yeah.
the existing code looks like they did not modify or bother to modify.
Yeah.
So SDK is fairly new implementation.
No, it's been there since 1.5.
Okay.
So in the client video, you can see order detail. So if you see order notepad, order number, order, disorder,
Which one is the latest, the version 2 or version 3? I have seen some places version 3 also.
I think UI, actually for UI enhancement, they did multiple lines.
Okay. So we can go with the service order client version 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is using the model service DTO. This is the same class that you were showing earlier, right? The model.service DTO.
Oh, one, I think this order detail client API is order detail. Yeah, get order, get service. Yeah, so this is one you can use.
Let me take a screenshot.
Okay. Get service, get trail ID, get service, get order, get service.
Yeah, I think we can modify both the methods. I mean, we can leverage the same method. So,
Yeah. It's a return.
okay, perfect. So the other question that I have, right, Arvind, little bit of an walkthrough how the code gets transitioned, right? So let's say Shirshak will modify, he will check out the code. He will have to create the feature branch first, right? Before he.
Yeah.
So once he creates a feature branch, normally is that copied from the release branch or from the master itself?
No, we have a development.
Yeah.
So
let's say he makes the changes in this current iteration.
yeah.
So I don't know what is the release branch that he can use to create the feature branch out of it. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if that is how the process is.
So yeah, first you have to clone this. So clone with HTTPS.
Which
like,
branch though? Or is it going to be against master or?
No, it's a development branch.
Can you go back again? Which one is the development branch?
Sorry.
So this is a development. So when you clone, it will like when you clone, right? It will ask which branch.
Okay, so he is going to clone it from the development branch.
Yeah, so like when you imported something, so like suppose I'm importing its projects from Git and clone URL, and I already gave, so it will order detail, right? Next it will ask me which branch. So I'll deselect all and select a development.
So you always select development by default. Okay. And do you create your bug fix or feature branch out of?
Yeah. So now I pull from development, right?
Yeah.
I'll create switch to new branch.
Okay.
So I'll create feature or feature. So now I made change branch, right? Now I'll make change.
Is that naming convention has some standard or you can put any unique name?
It has standard. Like for future, it is future something or whatever you want to name it. For bug fix, it's a bug fix.
We can use our feature, actual Riley feature name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how the naming convention is for both the times.
Okay.
And once you make changes, you can commit.
Commit into the same feature branch, right?
Yeah, I say commit into same feature branch. Suppose just an example, I I'll show you.
Okay.
So if I suppose I made changes here in the project. I'm putting some comments and I'll comment.
So this will allow you to compile it locally and test it locally, right? Within your feature branch. And then if you have to do the domain testing, you'll have to
Then
push your change to the actual development branch.
Yeah. So now once you made changes here, right? Once you finish committing, so it will ask to merge request.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So one merge request is nothing but from which branch to which branch.
Okay.
Like,
so we always go to the development, right? Since we learned it
you
from
have to source development here and development. Once you compare and create, so then somebody will approve to merge to development. So then how our code is right, once you merge into development, it will automatically deploy to QA. You don't need to again go and deploy.
Okay, okay.